We are working in the red Big Ideas Record and Practice Journal. Today we're working on 8.3, and the topic we are working on today is circles and their area. The directions say find the area of the circle, use 3.14 or 22. Again, there's a very large 22 over 7 for pi. The formula that we're going to do for the area of a circle is area of a circle equals pi, there's our pi symbol, r squared. So we're going to do pi r squared for area of our circle today. Now, when we did circumference, for circumference we did c equals pi times d. And when we did circumference, we wanted the circles to be in their diameter. We wanted to be able to have the diameter. Today's lesson, for area, we want our circles to be in the radius form. So we want to make sure the radius is given. And these are numbers 1, 2, and 3 in your Record and Practice Journal on 8.3. For number 1, we have the radius. Remember, the radius is the distance from the center of the circle to the edge. This is the radius. We need to do r times pi. So for number 1, we're very simply just going to do 6 times 6 times, and we're going to use 3.14 for pi. If you do 6 times 6 times 3.14, you're going to get 113.04, and that is going to be centimeters squared. Centimeters squared. Now, essentially, what are we finding? We are finding how many square centimeters completely fill in that circle. So we're finding the area of the circle. With circumference, remember, you are just doing that very thin outer edge around the outside of the circle, or the perimeter of the circle, when you're finding the circumference. Now, for today's lesson, we are finding area, and we are finding that entire area of the circle on the inside. For number 2, it's a little bit more challenging. It's 28. Basically, what we're going to do with 28 is we're just going to cut it in half. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to say, hey, the radius is 14. Then we're going to do 14 times 14 times 3.14. Again, if you prefer, you can use that gigantic 22 over 7 if you would like to. I'm just going to do 14 times 14 times 3.14, and I'm going to get 615.44. And that would be inches squared. Inches squared. And finally, for the semicircle down for number 3, we know it's 18. Again, we still want to have it in the radius form, so we want to get rid of that. We know if this is 18, then half of that would be 9. And for this one, we're just going to go 9 times 9 times 3.14. And then because we have half of the circle, we're just going to take that answer and divide it by 2. And that would be 9 times 9 times 3.14 is 254 divided by 2. It would be 127.17. And that would be inches squared. 127.17 inches squared. So for 8.3, area of circles, we want to just make sure, just the big highlight, area of a circle equals pi r squared. Area of a circle equals pi r squared. The number we use for pi is 3.14. Just a reminder, there's a difference between circumference, and we did circumference, I believe, on 8.1, and circumference is pi times d. So radius for area, diameter for circumference of our circles.